Here we are. It's prettier, it's newer, it's better than ever. In the upper right, in the red, he's the Vanguard player. Our last patch, probably the best Vanguard player. It's Mixu. Oh, look at these new overcharge effects. Ooh. You know, I haven't seen the new overcharge. I've only played against Infernals and Celestials. But in the bottom left, in the red, showcasing the hits of the new graphical overhaul that we're gonna be getting for Infernals at some point, tentacles and runes and all those wonderful things. From Bulgaria, he's the Mushroom, msrm. And of course, for those of you paying attention to what has changed, I expect to see a lot more mech coming out of Mixu. Not only did Exo lose 1 range, not only did Lancers lose about 20 HP, the turn rates were changed. So Exos feel like a lot worse to micro with now. They, I think they'll go and fix that one back up eventually. But for the time being, that is a little bit awkward. Also, of course, the other major change is that if you have less than 200 HP, Infest does just more damage now because it's a flat 2 damage per second. Now, if you're a Vulcan, good luck. Infest is not going to do all that much. I mean, I guess technically it's 16 DPS if you're in Miasma, but otherwise, it's not going to do a lot. So for now, Mushroom not going to go for a Shrine first. That's kind of how I've been playing, but instead, Vault first on the low ground, going to go and creep out a little bit, take away his opponent's thing, and as we turn this into a showcase, we're going to take a look at the fact that this new Shroud looks awesome. Now, there are some issues with the Fog of War, how it updates, and the Shroud, how it increases, where it doesn't seem to do it every tick, so it just kind of looks a little stuttery, but as it stands, this Lancer lacking 20 HP, well, that may end up being the difference. It's now dead, and Mixu has to just run right back home. Of course, on the other side of the map, there's a scout running away, fighting again some other day, and it seems like Mixu, there we go. Yeah, he wants to go for a quick third base, which is how Vanguard, for the most part, was playing last patch. You go, you overcharge, you build, you take a quick third base, you economically develop yourself that much faster. So notice Mushroom, he's not actually saturated at his naturally. He's built a third base. He's trying to get as many, there's his army. Trying to get as many creep camps as possible. That's going to be the fuel of his economic engine as much as possible. But he is not going to be able to build his economy worker-wise nearly as fast as the Vanguard player. Third base already done. Building 3 Bobs at a time every 27 seconds. And remember, unlike Infernals, Bobs don't, well, I guess technically they do die if they get harassed, but Bobs don't die to build things. So this economy, this economic generation, this engine that Mixu is making is gonna be a little bit faster. He's gonna have more stuff eventually. So it is very much the question as to what exactly it is that Mushroom is going for. He's got a greater shrine on the way, but there is no tech. Orson saying, good. Exos should feel like trash. And no, I don't think so. But I understand the hate flowing through you after just getting moved by Exos for a patch. You know what? I can empathize, even if from a game health perspective, I don't necessarily agree. But from I would like to stop getting moved by Exos, please. Yeah, you know what? I'll buy that one. Very few units have 200 plus HP, Orson says. Yes, very few, that is true. Lancers are one of them. Brutes are not, well, I guess well, no, they're not. Well, white health, maybe. Weavers are, though. It's really just like the big tier 2 units. So Weavers, Lancers, Atlases, Vulcans. Sorry, yeah, Lancers. I guess Lancers are tier 1, but Weavers, Atlases, Vulcans, things like that. But, you know, an attack's going to come in here. And as part of the graphical overhaul, for whatever reason, the Beyblades coming out of the Buzzsaw cannon are bright blue. I don't know why that is. But I think we all can agree that even if the Buzzsaw turret is a little weird right now, I don't know if that's something that's in the middle of being overhauled, and we'll get more of it later. But I think we all can agree that in general, this looks really good. you know? And I really like the way that the day-night looks. I really like the stormy map. And we'll take a look at those later, just a little bit later. For now, of course, that was only available on Isledge Red, only available on Titan's Causeway. So as we get ourselves set up here into the mid-game, a couple more conclaves on the way. In the main base, this has been a very quick Hellforge and a much more delayed Ritual Chamber. Did we get the Brute level 1 upgrade? We did not. So it's just a reasonably quick Hellforge from Magmadon Trample. Of course, Magmadon's not only did they get a buff on Raging Tendons, so they move, I think it's like half a unit faster. It's like, I want to say it went from 5.3 to, I think maybe like 5.8, something like that. Maybe it was 5.6. Regardless, they got a little bit of a buff. The other thing is that their attack rate, their attack period decreased a little bit. So they have always been pretty good anti-heavy units. And now once they get into the fight, they'll be able to attack just a little bit faster. So for now, it's all fighting over the vision. In this army, we can see just how bad it is to micro with these Exos right now. Not only, of course, are they in this situation where they have one less range, but they just, that turn rate, it needs some help. Eventually, Quick Draw Hustle is going to go and help out quite a bit, but that mass promote there does a very nice job of turning this fight around. And yeah, we're going to see the Effigy get taken down as well. Hot dropping on top of all of this. I don't know about this one. We're going to have to see how this one works out. Nightfall Infest is going to go drop down on a lot of these Lancers. But remember, Lancers, technically, they take less damage from an Infest than they previously did. And there we go. Weaver gets taken down. Magmadon's getting at it in, but you can just evac, run away. Remember, evacs were buffed. They're faster. Even before they were upgraded, they're faster. So this provides a couple more micro opportunities for Mixu as... Well, let's take a look. Anything researching in the bio lab? It is not. No Quick Draw Hustle either. So he's just raw dogging it with these Exos. He's just, you know what? This is fine. We're good. I'm just going to go and I'm going to get my evacs out as quickly as possible. And I'm going to drop low ground to high ground. I'm going to have a speed camp. That's going to solve some of my problems. And as the Magmadon stop, pick him up into the evac. Run elsewhere. And remember, as we look at this attack going into the third base, Fellhogs have also been nerfed a little bit. They have about 20 less HP overall, I think the number is. So they're not quite as annoying of a defensive tool. In fact, in general, defensive tools have been nerfed quite a bit. Workers have less HP. That's a good Nightfall, though. And yeah, pick up, run away. Do not fight into this. Not right now. And behind this, Mixu, what's he got? Atlas here getting ready to go. Sentinels were buffed significantly. But, we can see Miasma's going down. Remember, Miasma's now 16 damage per second flat. Very good against these Exos. Maybe not, again, quite as good against the big, beefy units, but we're not seeing those get added in, surprisingly enough. Packy H asking, is this the day-night map? No, we're going to get that map number 4. If we get there. Now the Atlas moving forward. Of course, Atlas is adding in because it outranges the Miasma. So you can go and get damage done on top of these Hexen and maybe make something happen there. Ooh, new animation on the Stasis drone. That is pretty. That is extremely pretty. And as we take a look at the supply here, it is a 20-30 supply lead coming out of Mixu, but he still has to run. This army is very low. Not a single med tech in the army whatsoever. So as these units get low, as they take damage from everything, they don't get to regenerate. That is just not something that is in their kit right now. So Stasis Drone goes down on one of the Weavers. We got a Miasma getting dropped here, and Mixu playing around with the Atlas as much as possible. Master here not going down on the Sentry Post. I thought they fixed that bug. I don't know. But as it stands, it looks like this attack, while powerful, for the most part, it's starting to get slowed down a little bit. The Atlas doing a great job here. And as we point this out, look at the shots. They look a lot better, too. So Mixu holds on, but he does lose the fourth base. He does lose a decent amount of bobs, and kind of a wash, all things considered. We playing Bio, Ariel says. Yeah, you know, I'm a little surprised. Hello there, Victor French, over on the YouTube chat. Oh, I'll take this 80s rolls. The saw blade is spinning so fast that it creates plasma. Sure. Him and Carol saying, I did not expect Infernal T2 to be viable and balanced this patch. I I've heard rumblings that that getting a lot of Magmadons is just kind of the answer to Vulcans. I've played like one versus Vanguard game, and I'm not totally sure. But by the way, look at this new Sky Mine. I mean, I'm just going to be spending as much time in this cast talking about the game and what's happening and just really appreciating the new prettiness. Also, let me know if the sounds are good. There are some things that are just a little too loud right now. The dragon's one of them. The slimes are another. I've turned the SFX down a little bit, and I hope that's enough to kind of solve the issue until that eventually gets a patch. But let me know if the sounds they sound fine in my ears, but let me know if the sounds are mixed properly. Also, new Venom Trap. Look at, oh, that is so pretty actually, with the heat shimmer. Big fan. TY Gaming saying sounds great. Love to hear it. Capture point loss is hopefully a tender whisper. Yeah, exactly. So drop on the high ground here with these Atlases. Again, no upgrades, even though they did buff the plasma, was it the plasma arc infusion? They did buff that one. And Ariel, yeah, got your wish. Here comes the dragon, that extremely loud boy. How is this thing gonna work out? They actually nerfed it. Oh, okay, you do get inhale poison for free, but it is 50 animus more expensive, so now Mixu's just gonna click on top of it here. Miasma's gonna go down, but the dragon, okay, barely stays alive, bathing in the miasma. That is gonna hurt. This is not the fight that Mixu wanted today. He thought he could run right on through it, but 16 damage a second across his entire army is just way too much, and that fight swung in the blink of an eye. He committed hard onto that dragon, and that did not work out whatsoever. Mixu's gonna have to run back home into the high ground. Just about the worst possible fight you could ever hope to take. And yeah, there are some sky mines, and that's gonna slow the attack down for a little bit. Mixu probably can stabilize, but he went from being in a position where he might have been able to win the game to a position that has equalized once again. He's on 5 base. Well, he's not 5 bases just yet, but he's gonna be on 5 bases soon. He's got a reasonable economy. Main base is mined down, but other than that, looking pretty good. And this dragon is low. That is damage that really doesn't regenerate all that easily. Yeah, there's a health camp, but 2 HP per second is not a ton. A little bit more because I think we're on tier 3. But even still, now he's going to have to defend. The Magmadon just starts stomping in with his raging tendons. You cannot run away from the boy. So you got to stasis trap it. That's what's going to happen. Exos have to run away. This Atlas firing from behind, but there's just not enough anti-air right now. This dragon is so strong. And Mixu, I thought he was in a great spot. He thought he could kill the dragon. He thought it was going to be a thing, and if he killed the dragon, he was going to be able to run through the rest of the army. As it stands, he sat in Miasma, 60 damage per second, and these Exos just did way too much, or just took way too much damage. And especially now as Shroud Fall goes down, that's 6%, effective 6% regeneration, which when you're looking at 200 white health, well, that is a problem and a half. So Mixu is going to get swept from the map in this game number 1. Kind of a cool game. We saw a lot of tech. At the end of the day, the Mushroom Man is just a little bit too strong, and on the new patch, rumors of Infernal death versus Vanguard maybe have been overblown a little bit, at least in one game. Mushroom takes the first one. All right, here we are. Someone called for some stormy weather. It's Isla Dread. Look at the rain. Look at the lightning. Look at these trees. They're not perfect there. Not there just yet, but this looks pretty cool. I am a big Beo and Gerald sitting in a tree. That is too many letters. Orsim wrote CHEESING, which is just too many letters, man. It doesn't really match with the rhyme, but it was funny, so I'll give you that one. Also, man, the improved specular maps on these rocks look awesome. And yeah, they really are putting the storm in Stormgate. It also makes me feel better because I look outside, the sunset's happening. It is a nice 72 degrees here in Texas, and I'm not complaining. Means it just tells me exactly what I'm not dealing with right now. Meow indeed saying that this is probably bad for ladder because the lightning flashes in trees may be distracting, but I love the design. Yeah, screw it. Go into ladder. Put it in the ladder. It's going to be good. Big fan. Big fan. And yes, the Classicus, the new loading animations that we can see with the runes circling the structures and the oh, we can't see it anymore. Can I find a unit, a building construction, and the tentacles? These are something that actually, if you go watch the Alan Dilling interview I did, they are teasers for the Infernal redesign. They're going more runic, more little Tron high-tech fantasy with tentacles, because apparently everything needs tentacles. And yeah, as that turned, I love the rain looks awesome. It's cinematic. It has made my it has massively improved my thumbnail game, which is why you clicked on the YouTube stream. It's because I took a screenshot of this map. That is exactly how this goes. But now these Lancers are a bit of a problem. Hexen getting very low. Let's play a ring around the Rosie. One more shot. Yeah, that is absolutely worth it. Taking the Hexen down and maybe one of the Brutes for only one Lancer. Yeah, that is absolutely worth doing. I agree, Sword. The choppy fog of war, it needs some work. I don't know what they did. I think this is, it's probably a bug. Probably a bug that they just weren't able to fix in time for 0.3. It's going to get fixed at some point, I assume. But for now, what are we looking at? Oh man, look at the specular mapping or whatever it's called. I mean, the command post, the central command it's all nice and shiny from the water. Oh, it looks so good. Anyways, we got Hogs. This is Lancer Hog. It's going to be a 1-1 opener coming out of Mixu. He tried the bio thing. It was clearly not working out. He was able to take some good fights, but it's so fragile now, especially with the inability to kite as you would like with Exos. And remember as well, Isla Dread is a big map. So a lot of these bio plays really rely on being able to rally across the map as much as possible, just really leaning into your opponent. Or at least they did last patch. So if you're going to not be able to do that as much, because this is a big map, probably, I don't know if it's the longest rush distance in the pool, but it is very big. If that is the case, then you're probably not going to go for something that just has a slow rush distance. Instead, you're going to go for these hedgehogs that now have pretty new animations. Look at those rockets. They look rather good. They look pretty fun. But with the Weaver popping out, you're probably not going to get a ton done. Yeah, one hedgehog just gets lashed, gets stunned. Actually stays alive for the time being, though. There we go. Now there's only one stun available. This is actually working out fairly nicely for Mixu. All things considered, the Brute's going to fall. The Fiends are going to get kited down. And I don't know how many of the workers got taken up, but big run by on the other side from these Fiends. Remember, their attack was buffed by 1. And Bob's got a 30 HP haircut. They're now only 100 HP instead of 130. So Fiends do more damage per attack. Bobs have less HP, effectively taking more damage. And at the end of the day, what this tells you is that Harass is a little bit more viable. Fiend run-bys are, while maybe not being impossible to defend, are viable. 3 Bobs, I think, went down in the natural. That's awesome. So behind this, Transonic Rockets, I assume... There's the army. Transonic Rockets. Oh, look at this. Look at this Vulcan. Oh, it looks really good. Anyways, Transonic Rockets, I had assumed that was getting done, but apparently not. There it is. There we go. Now it's on the way. Well, ESC2 saying you got to do dumb faces for the YouTube video thumbnails. I do those for the non-live, for the live thumbnail. Maybe I should. I don't know. Tim, Delirious Hex saying Tim Campbell said that they're working on the choppy fog of war and will have a fix at some point. Awesome. I assume that's from the Discord. I really appreciate you all that are able to pay attention to the Discord all the time. It makes my life a lot easier because then I can run a cast and then I just got people in chat saying, hey, you missed this dev comment. Here you go. Yeah, the lightning off the Vulcan gun, it is Obviously not perfect, but the game looks really good right now. So big harass coming in from the right side. Vulcan's gonna get on top of these imps, and well, for now, the shrine that's supposed to make Therium mining a little bit more efficient, that's gonna get taken down. And one thing I want to watch here, is this natural seems destined to fall as well, is whether we still see these macro shrines. I don't know what you want to call it. Oh, that is a dead Vulcan. Dead Vulcan is not surviving. But Therium, all right, you get one more Therium in your backpack now. Instead of 6, it was 7, which does technically make long distance mining more efficient, or longer distance mining a little bit more efficient. So I think it probably still makes sense to go and put a shrine on Therium. I wonder how much you lose, because it was a significant loss of Therium income if you didn't do that. And I wonder how significant that difference is now. I don't know. But look at this. Combat drops from the Magmadons. Harbinger's got a significant buff. They are much, much cheaper. Gotta continue to kite away, though. Magmadon's getting at it in last second. Harbinger's gonna get taken out, but the stun on top of the army is gonna make it rather difficult to fight here. Effigy gets dropped down as well, and, well, the Vanguard army is just gonna have to run away. But remember, Magmadons, when they're not stompy, they are heavy units. Hedgehogs do bonus damage versus heavy. They're gonna get taken out, and Mixu continues to build this supply lead. Continues to take what is, by all accounts, pretty positive fights, even as he is going to have to go and back up here and wait for the Weavers to go do something. Weavers, of course, they were buffed. They now move at 4.5 speed on Shroud, 3 speed off Shroud, so it's kind of a net speed buff. Well, sorry. On Shroud, they move the exact same, but off Shroud, they move about half a movement speed, half a unit faster. So they're a little bit more usable off Shroud. You no longer have to make sure that you are always building these Shroud highways. You can be a little bit more efficient with your Animus. Also, look at the Sentinel. And to be adding, gifting 5 subs to the community. Thank you all, everyone. Welcome. Hey, it's Gemini, Squippy, Frizzy, Foolish Monk, and Fantasy TYTY Fanboy. Glad y'all got some subs. Some Stormgate emotes, some StarCraft emotes, and of course, most importantly, no ads. I guess you could log out and then watch ads if you wanted to, but not a requirement. Did that Harbinger leave Shroud after it died permanently? No. There's an effigy here that it was able to go and get expanded on, but if it did, that's got to be a bug. I didn't see it. Slim4477 asking, do you think there should be a performance graphics mode or even like an esports mode that's just basic as hell, no flash? I would never. Pretty is better than pretty over performance every time for me. I think it's gonna be. I mean, eventually I would hope we're just gonna get some really granular graphic settings, and then pro players or high level players are gonna figure out whatever it is they want to remove. They're gonna. I mean, remember StarCraft 2's optimal graphic settings are messing with INI files, messing with configuration files to make things happen. For now, this army has to run away. It is a little bit scary. Harbinger, again, 50 Therium haircut. Therium mining is more offensive. It's a good day to be a Harbinger fan. And he's going to try to just go drop these Magmadons on top of the army. A little bit of a slowdown from the Nightfall infestation. And there the Magmadon's going to show up. It looks like Mixu is just leaving these behind. I don't know what happened. He accidentally removed those from a hotkey. I don't know. But he is going to go try to get this Harbinger. Not going to succeed. And, well, there's a Weaver inside, so that's kind of fun. And this army, this game from Mixu, it's funny. I look at the fights. I'm like, wow, this is pretty good for MSRM. And then I look at the state of everything else. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Here, the supply is really good for Mixu. So the Graven are out. They're going to slow everything down. Well, look at that. There's a stasis drone going down. This is not a fight that MSRM can take whatsoever. We tried Bio. Didn't really work out all that well. We tried Mech. This is working a whole hell of a lot better. As we see, yep, we got a couple Sentinels. They were buffed. Atlas is on. Yep, Atlas joined the fray. Graven are going to jump on forward. Sticky bombs go down. And even as this Vulcan, surprised there's no shield, but I guess Mixu actually didn't have the energy for it. This fight is not gonna go mushrooms away whatsoever. This poor Weaver, just left alone. The nanites, they don't want him to leave. He's just stuck here for, well, not for forever, but stuck here for a long time. His friends have left him, and remember, there's no shroud weave back home. He can't teleport back home. It's really sad. The greatest tragedy. Is there a rule of thumb about supplies in this matchup? Like, does Infernal always want to be ahead? It's kind of straight up. You can pretty much make an argument that say that supply, like whoever's ahead in supply, if it's more than say 20, is generally just ahead. The exception to that is a defending Infernal against Bio can be down in supply a little bit more because of how efficient like the miasma play is. Excuse me, didn't mean to zoom all the way in. Because of how efficient fighting on Shroud with miasma can be. Other than that, it's just generally he who is up in supply is ahead in the game. Kizik saying just a new graphics thing. This patch Ethereum has flames while it isn't depleted. Yeah, we can see that. Actually, I think it's a little bit of a bug where I don't know that these flame spirals go away when it is depleted. And to the best of my knowledge, that is a bit of a bug here. Now the hard siege commences. Couple race stones, couple shroud stones here, gonna make this a little bit longer to attack into. Is the dash forward? That's fine. Everything's dead. A lot of these tech-heavy units are gonna go down. The Magmadons, and they're certainly gonna fall. And remember, while a Hellborn has been added in, Hellborns do 8 damage per second against units. They do, what is it, 16 or 17 damage per second against buildings. They do 100 damage against buildings, but they are very heavily nerfed against actual units. So I think Hellborn are going to be something that's very good to try to break positions. I don't know how good they're going to be as part of a main army fighting unit. We'll see. For now, though, Mixu shows us that mech is in fact the way. He, by the way, he had a big Graven run by on the right side as well. Shows us that mech is the way and ties the series up. We are now in the Bone Zone, ladies and gentlemen. We are on Boneyard map number 3. Shout out, by the way, to Meow Indeed. Adding in $50 the prize pool, saying, Beo, we may not see eye to eye, mostly because our nose is getting away, but I respect your commitment to Stormgate. Thank you so much, Meow Indeed. We are now at $164.25 with 29 codes remaining. So if you've not claimed the code, there are 100 of you watching right now. If you've not claimed the code, exclamation mark Maturino 30 times 0.25 is money. Too lazy to do the math right now, but more money is still on the table. We can get this thing up to $175 pretty easily. So please go and claim a code. Support your local mushroom today. Or a Vanguard player. Or just like really pretty, the Lancer looks a lot, I mean, the Lancer just looks a lot better. Or just really pretty Lancers. Whatever it is that you want to do, go for it. So we're gonna see an expand go down for Mushroom. This is a vault expand, open vault into a shrine, and he's gonna go for a very quick third double Therium. So this is gonna be a little bit more tech focused. Coming out of msrm, we're not gonna see him going. Part of it is defending against Vanguard on this map. Defending a quick third is very hard. I mean, this base, it's so far forward on the map. Good luck. And this is just so far out of the way. There's a high ground right here. It is very difficult to defend against the Vanguard aggression. So you go higher Therium, you maybe get some more Magmadons, you get some Weavers. Can't click on it. I thought they'd fix this. Please, let me... All right, I apparently can't click on anything. Maybe if I tab? I'll be able to... Will I be able to click on... Yep, there we go. All right. Alt tabbing fixed it. Why? Okay. Mixu, building a command post on the double Therium instead of a scrapyard. I guess you do that because scrapyard is tier 2? Wait, is scrapyard tier 2? I don't know. I don't even think about it. I'm like, yeah, you get a scrapyard. I think scrapyard's tier 2. That's the only reason I could think of why you would go command post on the double Therium instead of going a scrapyard. But for now, we're getting a nice little surround here on one of these Lancers, and the bonus damage is significant. We can see just how much more damage this Lancer is taking. I mean, it still doesn't die, and the Fiends still do go down, but it is a bit of an improvement. If the new Bob does the face thing, I'll switch to Vanguard. Yeah, no, I love the concept of the new servo. For those of you, again, who have not seen it, there's a bunch of new concept art in the most recent interview I did with Alan Dilling. One of them is a replacement for the Bob with something that looks a little bit more like a StarCraft 2 probe, but human. It's called the servo, and I love that it's just like, this is corporate's idea about what safe and happy and like human-oriented little robots look like. And I think it's great. It's very funny to me. Plus, while Bobs do have a little smiley face, you can, okay, I actually can't show you, but while they do have a little smiley face on their chest, really hard to see, this will be a little bit more obvious. So it's going to be a little bit more personable. It's going to be a little bit more fun. For now, though, a bunch of Lancers are going to show up in the main base. No kinetic redirect. Excuse me. Yeah, no kinetic redirect. But Lancers in the main base may be a bit of a problem. 3 Lancers are going to show up. Magmadon has to get spawned immediately. And with the Magmadon and the Shroudstone manifestation, this Lancer is not going to get a lot done. Even with the nerfs to the Imp HP that we saw in the most recent patch. But okay. Evacs getting added in. Remember, Evacs, their movement speed was buffed by about a half a point, I think. Don't remember what the exact number was, but Evac movement speed was buffed quite a bit. That makes them, I said when I was looking at the patch, I'm like, I think this makes them downright very usable. And it seems like Mixu will tend to agree. So this Lancer Hedgehog thing, it seems to be working out fairly well. The Brute's the front line. You do not want this X in here. It's just going to get taken down. Apparently not, actually. It's going to survive for the time being as a medtech goes the wrong way. And this is just kind of a cool biomech push. Of course, the Hedgehogs, some of them are going to get lashed. They're going to get taken down. Another one's going to fall. But as I look back in the main base, where is our biolab? Okay. Doesn't seem like there's any nanoswarm available. That does not appear to be the case. So this is really just to keep the Lancers alive. It's kind of actually, this is a build that Mixu was doing last patch, and it was working pretty well. He was going this Lancer evac medtech push into a couple Vulcans, and it looked pretty good for him. Let's see if he can sustain this one with the newly buffed Magmadon, the newly marginally nerfed Vulcan. Of course, with an evac, you do have a lot more micro potential, and it looks like, yeah, no Demon Hoof tremors at the moment. So the Magmadons, well, they don't stomp. They don't stun. And that means it's not the easiest thing to get on top of this army, and certainly these medtechs here. Well, they are getting taken down. The Magmadons, they do a lot of damage to heavy now. They attack reasonably fast. Nightfall Infest is going to go down on all the Bobs, and the AoE Splash is going to try to turn this into a lot of Fiends, which of course is so important because their damage was buffed. Now, Hornet has been brought in on the backside. That's just really taking damage, soaking damage from these Gaunts. And I don't think this works. I think there's too much healing. I think there is just too much stuff here. Not enough of the Bobs went down to the stun. Actually, wait a minute. One Vulcan did fall. And now look at that, the safety lash to go try to make sure that this Magmadon stays alive as long as possible, buying time for the rally to arrive. Oh, the Weaver's gonna go down though. Magmadon has to stomp away, and I think this is probably, maybe, is this enough? It's only one Vulcan, but Nanoswarm's out now, and with Nanoswarm on the map, that becomes a lot more problematic. We don't have Plague Axis, so it's not like dropping any Shroud's gonna some big transference into Fiends that might be able to swing this around, and I think msrm has got to back up. This was very close to breaking Mixu, but not quite enough. And now with the Nanoswarm evac, with the promoted evac that is now very fast, it's hard to run. It is very hard to run. But it seems like as we get back onto Shroud, that's going to be a bit of a time being. Is actually love the pickup micro here coming out of Mixu. Dodges one of the lashes with an evac. And remember, a lash is expensive. It's, what is it, 45 energy? It's expensive. It's a decent cooldown. Losing out on a lash when you're dealing with just a couple Vulcans, when you only got a couple Weavers, is a significant damage loss, is a significant control loss that you don't really have access to. So msrm has been able to take his third base. He's only just now saturating it. He's got this double Therium set up We got a Twilight Spire done, Elder Shrine done. Is there Dragon out? Oh, wait, we're only at 41 Animus, or has he just been really spending Animus elsewhere? Looks like the answer is the Dragon is not out. In fact, it's gonna be a while, no Animus. So, a Vulcan drop's gonna show down, gonna take down the Ritual Chamber. Yeah, that's not gonna last very long, and we're gonna have some reaction to it, certainly. But it's not really gonna be able to kill it all that easily. This actually might be some use to getting a couple Hellborns late game. Not only is it good because you can go and, if you get the upgrade, that's 13 damage per second. It's not bad. Is this... Okay, so, yeah, okay, defensive stasis drone is gonna go down, and, well, one of these Medtechs is gonna survive. Dash forward, make sure the Magmadon doesn't get to stay alive here. You want to defensively last this, I think it's worth doing, but even still, Vulcan's gonna get taken down here. There's the stuns going down. That's what you're looking for. And with Raging Tendons as well, look how fast these guys are. They are so freaking fast. You don't run away from them. Now, you don't want to go too far up Shroud. You don't want to go separate your army too much, but these Magmadons, they are much faster. That's a very nice little buff for them, of course. Mixu doing a very nice job developing his economy that much more. He's got his 4th base done. This is not something that MSRM really has access to. So the trading does have to be better for MSRM right now, even as these Hedgehogs are going to go find a lot of this Therium on the north side, which also you got to deal with this drop. Now, Hellborn actually, you just got to target the evac down. That's going to probably be the play as the fight goes in to this 3rd base. A lot of imps are following, but if you can kill the army, if you can just annihilate the army, maybe that's going to be worth doing. Actually, not a lot of imps went down. I thought they were, but 12 out of 12, 6. It looks like about 6 imps have died. Natural lost some, but not too bad. And I think the evac died too. So this was actually not all that bad for MSRM. He's built himself a bit of a supply lead. We are, of course... Oh, never mind. The looks like that drop was not dealt with, but... Well... We're going to have to run away. Ooh, it's very low. I thought the drop was dealt with. Looks like it was able to run away, but it is causing consternation for MSRM all the same. I think he's overextended a little bit. Yeah, Magmadons are speedy boys. They are very fast, but these Weavers are not. These Hellborns, not too much. So while they are much better to micro, you can actually stutter stuff with them now, as now Shadow Flyers are going to go down and... So here we are. We're into game number 4. Game 3, everyone got kicked out of the game. If you're watching this on YouTube and wondering why there's such a hard cut, everyone got kicked out of the game, but MSRM was of the opinion that he was kind of dead anyways. So instead of replaying, we've just moved on into game 4. And that's fine. We are on Titan's Causeway, the pretty version. This is Titan's Causeway Day-Night. It's not really, it's a very long name, so it's not showing in the bottom left, in the right above the minimap, but we're gonna see some day-night cycles. It's gonna be very, very pretty. Of course, Titan's Causeway is a map that is pretty Vanguard favorite. Pushing through the middle of the map is very strong. Getting a 3rd base for Infernals is rather rough. The Therium problem is probably fixed a little bit by the fact that you mine a little bit more Therium per trip, but that's still a bit of a problem as well. Meow Dude saying, serious question, I don't care about bugs and major crashes, but as Frost Giant talked about when they think the game will be very stable. A 1.0 or is it like a 0.7 patch timing? They have not talked about it. I think it's fair to say that whenever they really introduce something big, say, for example, custom hotkeys, full custom control groups, like these patches are big. This is a lot of functionality change. I think it's fair to expect bugs. I would love to say that this is a Blizzard game and they have a full QA department that is spending like thousands of hours testing everything. I don't think they have that. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised. Now, I do assume that they're going to do a massive bug pass for 1.0. What I will also say is they fixed a lot of bugs for this patch. A lot of Bob bugs, for example, that were just making life very difficult for Vanguard. A lot of those were fixed, a lot of audio bugs, and some more were introduced, but it's the old adage of software development, right? You know, it's 100 bugs on the wall, 100 bugs on the wall, or 99 bugs on the wall, 99 bugs on the wall, take one down, fix it around 127 bucks on the wall, right? Like, you fix one, more pop up. You do what you can. Joshin 855 saying it's Sunday already. Well, yes, it's Sunday in my heart and my mind because I decided that, well, I want to run a patch the day. I want to run a Sunday. I want to run a tournament the day after the patch. I think that is. It's interesting to see players try to solve things in real time. And by the way, look at this day-night cycle. Look at that. We're into evening. Orange, Mexico. Someone said it's the Mexico filter, but. And now it's into nighttime. Look at that. Speed camps are getting messed around with a little bit. I really like the night lighting on this, actually. The full moon, the very harsh white lighting from the lunar reflection. Looks great. So now the brutes are going to try to kill off as many of these speed camps as possible. Unfortunately, they're going to get dragged into the Lancers, so this is going to be a pretty good result for Mixu, all things considered. I think he's going to get most of these. And the Lancers continue to rally forward. I mean, Brutes versus Lancers technically should go for the Brutes. And actually, he's going to lose one of the Lancers, unfortunately. Actually, a little bit distracted by the Fiends that are going to run down the main base. And remember, Fiends do 1 more damage. Bobs have 30 less HP. Run-bys are a lot more viable than they used to be. So this is just going to be a little annoying. It's msrm flexing his APM a little bit, getting on top of that solar habitat, making sure that, well, the central command. And by the way, new animation. Look at the sparks. That's because it's all solared up. You're not building workers every 24 seconds. You're trying to go and see if you can shut that down a little bit. A couple Bobs actually will fall down despite being overcharged. Meanwhile, fight on the north side as well. Brutes are going to go and try to fight these Lancers, but these Lancers, it's a lot of them. They're going to take the Shroud down. This is a... you may be okay with converting into Fiends, but... oh, he's buying time for the Magmadon. Okay, the Magmadon gets added in. Nightfall is not really going to land, though. But you have the Magmadon on top. Bonus damage versus heavy on the trample. Bonus damage versus heavy on the attack. And that is going to absolutely wipe this. That was a beautiful bait, switch, poke, whatever you want to call it. Beautiful play from msrm. And now his rally seems fairly effective. He's mining a decent amount of Therium. He's got this one Magmadon here. And it's like one Exo. One Exo, sure, the flat cannon's pretty good, but... one Exo versus a Magmadon. Exos are better than Magmadons, but one Exo versus one Magmadon. You gotta give it to the Magmadon. How long is one day-night cycle? 5 minutes, maybe, Wally? I don't know. I haven't gone and tracked it. But we are in the night. Maybe it's like 6 minutes. Maybe morning till night is 3 minutes, and then we'll see. New ramps got a little bit of Z fighting. Yeah, the ramps look a little bit of Z fighting. I don't know if that's maybe that's just my settings. I don't know. I tweak things a little bit to try to, because I'm doing this in 4K and I got to do some DLSS stuff to make it look good. But for now, that's great. Nightfall Infest. Those are some beautiful stomps, and even if they're not stunning, they killed off so many of these Lancers. And yeah, fighting into the health camp never feels great, but look at this. We got a Hellborn. It does more damage per second against structures. It is a great solution to the single buzzsaw cannon that's trying to go hold the fort down. That's not going to work out. That is not going to work out at all. So now Vulcan's been added in, and welcome to daytime. 6 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. No idea what the timing is. I think it's a minute, 3 minutes and 7.5 seconds. Don't know. But for now, with the Hedgehogs out and the Vulcans out, msrm, he's going to have to back up a little bit, but all of this aggression has secured a third base. And while it doesn't take all that long at all for Vanguard players to go and build a third base, this is not something Mixu has access to at the moment, so he's just going to go playing around with the Vision Tower and these new quick-firing Hellborn, because, again, they don't do a lot of damage, and they do fire pretty fast. They feel much more microable, so playing around on Vision Camp is a pretty nice way to just add in a little bit more damage. And Mushroom is, well, you know what? If one Hellborn does half the damage that it used to, but it fires a lot faster, what if I get 4 Hellborn? They're cheaper. 4 Hellborn are, in fact, Hellborn are 50 Therium cheaper than they used to be. They fire a lot faster. Maybe this will work out. Maybe that's the play, is a Hornet's getting added in and just getting gunned down. And now Harbinger on forward. Couple Brutes. Magmadon tries to get on top. Body blocking. Oh, I love it. Body blocking, putting Baby in a corner, but unfortunately, there's an evac. And yeah, this does, I don't know if this is a graphical bug. Are we regenerating white health? Nope, it's not a graphical bug. Yes, apparently Harbingers, when they die, they leave Shroud behind. So that's awkward. That is not what you want. That is a little bit of a bug right there, is the Hellborn. I think you really have to just target this evac down, and it's gonna have to return to hangar. It's gonna have to run home. But I think these Hellborn are mostly dead. Yeah, you add in some Magmadons, and they're gonna stomp forward, but do we have tier 3? We do, but I don't think we have yet. No Raging Tendons. So that means right now that the Hedgehogs can still kite. Now, you add in Raging Tendons, and that's gonna be pretty different. But up until that point, and again, they're not researching at the moment. Up until that point, these Magmadons, they will get kited out a little bit. Orson saying, it looks like the, based on the timer, it seems like the day-night cycle is around 3.5 minutes. Yeah, something like that. Like 3 minutes and 15 seconds to go from morning to night, and then, so like one day is like, it's like 3 minutes and, I mean like 3 minutes and 7.5 seconds, 3 minutes, 15 seconds, something like that. Yeah, and I thought I saw the shadows rotate too. I don't know. No, shadows are moving. Look at that. Shadows are definitely moving. It's just not as fast. In the video, they had it sped up. But the shadows are very much slowly moving as the sun starts to crow once again. And this base is not going to be allowed to get up. That is not a thing. That's going to be canceled. The Shroudstone dies. And Mushroom, 172 Animus. And getting very, very close now to the Dragon. About 28 Animus off, 26 Animus off. And what's his... It doesn't have a lot of meat farms. Well, he's got a couple. Of course, you want to make sure, unless they change that, I'm forgetting. Theoretically, you want your Bobs to be on Shroud, or your Fellhogs to be on Shroud so they give you a little bit more Animus. But for now, this drop behind enemy lines is tremendously impactful. Now, unfortunately, for Mixu, what this does mean is that msrm is going to be able to go in there to get the Dragon out. This is giving him that Animus. He's got the money for it. He's got the Luminite, got the Therium. And here comes the Dragon to defend the drop. It is... Dragon does more single target damage than like anything in the game. It's 90 damage a shot. It is a significant poke. Unfortunately for msrm though, this is also a scout for Mixu. Mixu now knows, hey, there's a Dragon on the map. I can go. Time for me to get some Hedgehogs. Time for me to do some funky Hedgehog drop things. Of course, again, this is 140 damage an attack against structure. It is. Dragons are beautiful turret busters. But for now, Magmadon's just trying to get on top of this. Look at that. Yeah, Hedgehogs are going to show up. They shred the Dragon. But the Magmadons should be able to handle this for the most part. Lashes back the Magmadon that was getting a little bit wounded. Dragon getting low. Hedgehog dropping on forward. The Dragon cannot go down. It's going to get so very low. Eats a fruit, runs away, backs up. But because you have to spend so much micro on the Dragon, it does mean the rest of this army is a little bit problematic. Dragon barely staying alive. These Hedgehog hot drops are doing so very much now. Infest applied on top of everything. The Dragon is dead. Dragon's gonna go down. That big boss unit that's so important for msrm is gonna get taken down, but maybe with the Infest, maybe with the Magmadons, maybe that's gonna be enough. I don't think so. These Hellborn, they just do not do enough damage. They do have the upgrade now. Do a little bit more damage per second. That is something. They're able to do a little bit more. And remember, they are much more microable, so you can kind of play on your defensive structures a little bit more. And seems like Mushroom, he lost the Dragon, but he will be able to stay alive. He's got his north side base. It's awkwardly long. Oh, okay, no, he just wanted to go saturate the Therium more, but he does have his north side base. He's able to go put pressure, take a little bit more Therium. And what do we have? There we go. All right, Soulforge Descendants on the way. This is a, well, not this one, but the next one. I forget what it's called, but the next upgrade is very cool. It means your brutes move 25% faster and gives you +2 bonus feats. So you get 4 feats per brute. it means Fiend run-bys or Brute run-bys in the late game are very strong. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry, I should have pointed this out. That was, look at that. Hot dropping sieged up hedgehogs to body block the Weaver so it couldn't get away. That was, oh, Mixu's so cool. This is a hard position for Mixu to fight into. I think we got to see some drops coming out of him. Attacking into this number of Hellborn, even if they have been nerfed, attacking into this number of Hellborn with a couple Magmadons, and well, oh man, he's just okay. That's a little weird. There's something up with I think not the shroud walking, but the ability to walk over structures. It's acting a little weird. I think some of the Weavers are getting stuck on enemy units. They should be able to just walk over them, actually. So I'm not sure what's happening with that. But I gotta say, I'm a little surprised that we're seeing these hedgehogs getting hot dropped, because there's nothing in the air. So now Magmadons are gonna run stomp forward. Stasis Drone is being annoying, but that's gonna get taken down. This is a beautiful look at the Demon of Tremis, and honestly, I think you just keep this Weaver to go get him. Okay, nope, that's not what you're looking for. I was gonna say, just get things out of dodge to get the Magmadons back once they stomp forward, but that was not the solution. That was not the solution whatsoever, and now it's Atlas drops running forward. Shroudstone's gonna have to get manifested here, Hellborn getting taken down, and I think finally a Mixu's done it, but it's pretty cool. I think, again, the issue of the late game of how do you kill a Vanguard army is still a thing. That is still very much a question. But I am enjoying the power of the Magmadons here. They're able to go get on top and make life very, very hard for the Vanguard player. Oh god, the sticky bomb is so strong. Magmadons are getting stuck behind the slowed Magmadons. Oh no, that does not feel good. But I think Mixu's kind of dead at this point. Certainly with the, oh. Well, no, those are, I thought that was a run by. No, those are Bobs trying to go expand, but double Wraithstone says absolutely not. Also, little particle effect dragging at the heels of the Bobs. That's new. And I said I think msrm is dead, but he was able to go and cut down a lot of very low Vanguard units. In the absence of medtechs, there's no healing. So as these Magmadons run forward and just kill off all the Exos, it's not all that horrible for msrm. Now, a big turret rush on the north side. Mixu's like, you know what? I need this base. I want this money. Please and thank you. I'm going to take this base. And he's going to build so many turrets. Building Shroudstones here is not going to work out. The turrets are already up. They're power built. This is not going to work out whatsoever, but a lot of the bombs are starting to fall down. I think, it looks like some of them were infested. This base on the north side should be able to get taken down if msrm is aware of it. And we're kind of in a weird base trade scenario. A bunch of brutes are actually going to get added in, plus 10 armor. I mean, oh, this is a wall. Oh, no, you're not getting through this easily whatsoever, and we don't have the new brute upgrade. So being able to build 4 fiends out of this would be really cool. But even plus 10 armor, it seems like we are actually doing a pretty good job of cutting through everything. Or maybe not. I think you got to add a couple Hellborn here. I think that is very much the play. Love the lighting effect on the wings. Yeah, the new dragon looks dope. Unfortunately, it was in fact hedgehog dropped into death. So there is that one. Yeah, man, msrm really should have killed this base. He had every opportunity. He had the position, but he wants to make sure, I guess, that his base stays alive, and that is understandable. But I think you just got to go trade. I think you just got to go trading spaces on this. But now the nano bubble, which was buffed, it's now only tier 2, is going to get taken down to that, or it's not going to get dropped down. Oh, it looks so good. The force field effect, a little shimmer. Oh, it's beautiful. But unfortunately, msrm, he moves on to the north side to go try to take this structure down, and yeah, that's going to be fine. But he's losing a lot more than he's gaining. He's lost this base. He briefly lost the north side base. That's slowly going to get taken down. And actually, you know what? Okay. Let's take a pause here for a second, because I said, you know what? This was bad for msrm. He's lost a base, but he has been able to kill off a reasonable amount of the base on the north side. The Fiend run by, pretty successful. And Mixu is very broke. Mixu does not have a lot of money. He's going to have to go sell a lot of these structures, but he's going to lose the Bobs here. His main base is mined out. His natural is mined out. So too is MSRM's. But I think if you take a position on the high ground, I think if you go take a position right here and siege onto the low ground, I think you deny mining from this base. And if you're able to do that, then you got to go take this for yourself. I think it's still probably pretty good for MSRM. Now, not perfect. Certainly, he's down in supply a little bit. There is money on the map from these high tier Shadow Demons and the other creep camps on the map. So it's not like you're just never going to have any money. That is actually one of the big differences with Stormgate compared to, say, StarCraft 2. Even when players mine out, they do have some money available to them on the map. We've seen some really cool games from like Harding, where he's like, I'm not dead. I can go take siege camps. I can go take camps. It's going to be fine. Now that is a beautiful stomp. Magmadon's going to get on top. Oh, Nightfall's not really going to land though. The haste spot aura on the Sentinels is just making it very easy to run away up until the moment where there is a trample available once again. So now, yes, there's a stasis drone, but this is scary because trample should be done soon. Trample should be on cooldown. And once again, that's a big Atlas shot. But now Miasma's going to go down a little bit more Miasmas. And look at them all pop. Look at these Exos go down in the late game. MSRM once again builds a beautiful position here. And the Sentinel, that's going to get taken down. Graven, well, they got Magmadons on top of him. That's beautiful. Miasmas as well mean that all the X's are going to fall down on the right side. And I think, well, I was going to say, I think MSRM's done it. He's broken through this position. He's going to go take the high ground. But the supply was briefly very much in favor of Mixu up until it wasn't. Up until things equalized once again. MSRM tries to get on the high ground, but he's going to go have to reset very soon. These Atlas drops are just causing problems. And man, what a cool game we're getting here in game number 4. We've had many days and many nights and many days again. 19 minutes in. MSRM mining. Kind of mining here. This base on the north side, not mining. This base is mining. There's not a lot of money available to either player at this point in the game, at least from mining bases. Again, yes, there are creep camps, but they are not real. Oh, these are big Atlas shots, and he's sitting in the plasma field too. That is not what you cannot take that fight. What I'm looking for? What is it? It's 80 damage. Yeah, it's 120 damage versus heavy. Hellborn, 260 HP plus white health, but they are heavy units. They get shredded by these Atlases. But for a moment, that evac got very low. He had to bubble him up. Taking a look at this, by the way. We have enough energy for another dragon. Not nearly enough therium. These patches are mined out. This base has... wait a minute. Yeah, okay. MSRM has mined the map out of therium. There is no more therium available to him. What you see in this army is what you get. You got to go take the therium camp or something. You got to find some way to get therium back on the map because you don't have any way to generate any more. And that's a shame because I think Mixu doesn't have a lot either. And I don't know how many headshocks he has, but it's not a lot. A dragon this late in the game would be very, very, very good. So based on the right side is going to get taken down. It doesn't matter at this point. This is really just for positioning. And we have gone full base trade at this point. Man, okay. I don't know how much therium a tier 3 bruiser and tier 3 pipers are going to give you. Is it enough for a dragon? That is the most important question. Is it enough for a dragon? If it is, I think Mushroom can win this game. If it's not, I don't know how he's able to come back into it. So the Pipers, they're going to get taken down. Eyes on the therium here. 462. He needs more time. He needs to go and hold on to this position. Really just hold on to the north side base. And wait another, what are we incrementing at? It's like, what, 2 therium? Yeah, he needs to wait probably 2 minutes. He needs to wait like 2 minutes to get the therium back, I think. And in the meantime, he's going to lose. Oh, no, he's never going to get there. Graven are going to go, and they're just going to go sabotage it all. And he's going to lose all the therium. That win condition that he might have possibly had, getting a dragon out, is not a thing. That does not exist. That cannot exist. It's just going to take way too long. So He's going to have to find a way to win in the base trade, and that is really, really hard. He does have Fiends, and remember, these are buff Fiends. They do an additional damage per attack. Bobs are weaker, so these Bob run-by, or these Bob, I don't know if you want to call it run-bys. These Bobs, he can maybe take some of them down. But I don't think he ever... Where is this army? I don't think... Yeah, no, he did. Okay. He did get Sundering Soul Craze. That does give you a bunch of bonus Fiends. If he can go trample his Magmadons through the rest of the army and then just convert into Fiends and kill up all the Atlases, maybe that's going to do it. I mean, this is a very nice miasma. Two of the Atlases are going to go down, but you really can't lose any Hellborn. This is... I'm probably on Copium. Yeah, I'm on hard Copium here. I think Mixu at this point, I think he's done it. There's just no Therium on the map. That's the problem. Okay, Emerson, 442, 454. He's getting a little bit more. But the Fiends have to stay alive. And the Fiends have to get on top of these Atlases, and it's just really, really hard. A last little bit of a mining outpost for msrm is going to get taken out. We just don't have any anti-air, and unfortunately, Shadow Flyers are bugged. Shadow Flyers don't do any minus armor, so they're, if they ever were a viable outcome, they're not anymore. So msrm is going to go for a run by one more time, taking this base out. Miasma to get more Fiends. Yeah, it really does feel like in this late game, even as Atlas is one-tap them, getting a sufficient number of Fiends to just being able to go and poke and prod and kill bases and get on top of Atlases, maybe that's something, but as the last of the Hellborn go down, it really... This is hardcore Copium from msrm. It was a beautiful game. Oh, that's a big miasma. Doesn't matter. This was a beautiful game, really played from both sides. But msrm is going to have to tap out at Mixu, as expected. Goes on into the winner's match, but the new patch looks pretty cool, and more importantly, it looks beautiful. These graphics they look really good now. For now, of course, if you like this, you want more Stormgate action, make sure to follow my YouTube. Check me out on Twitch, and I'll catch you next time.